Hi everyone, welcome to Homerino Collectibles, and today we're going to be taking a look at the part 2 of the Transformers Combiner Wars Devastator review. So in the first part, which will be linked on the screen right now and also in the description below, we looked at the individual figures from their transformations from vehicle to robot mode, and I showed you everything that comes in the package. And now what we're going to do is going to take the 6 Constructicons that you can see in front of you and turn them into their limb modes for Devastator, and then put it all together and then review the actual combiner itself and give you some size comparisons and so on. So the easiest ways to transform these guys is to have Bonecrusher, Scrapper, Scavenger, Hook and Mixmaster in their vehicle modes, and then having Long Haul in his robot mode, as he's basically already transformed for Devastator pretty much. So we're just going to go one by one, get them into their limb modes and carry on. But before we do that, we're just going to take the accessories that it came with and put them together to form the shield and the gun. So here we have these pieces. They just go into the hole right there, and then take the other one, plug that in on the other side, and then there you go, we have that sorted. Just make sure it's tabbed in securely. So there we have the chest plate, which is pretty cool. Then we have the two, I say small weapons, they're pretty large, but you put them together and then you make the larger rifle. And then we have two of these, which could be held like so. Basically all you have to do is just flip that out, clip it in place, rotate the hand around, and then there we have a hand ready for Devastator. So you just do that with the other one and then we're ready to go. But just before I move on, I just want to mention that even on the inside of the hands there, we actually have some detailed like pipe work inside, which is really cool. I did not expect that, and I did actually only just realize that. So that is really awesome. So first up, we're just going to transform Long Haul. And the way we do that, if we just get a couple of the other guys shifted around, is we put the arms up like so. We're gonna unhook the back section and we're gonna put the feet part back inside, rotate it around like so. We're gonna put his head away, and then what we're gonna do is these sections come all the way down and then they open out. If I can get it, there we go. Do that to the other side, and then that is that ready. Now you may think that this is a bit unstable and whatnot. Well, the connector port, if I just put this back down, the connectors that go into Hook are here and here, and then also these attached to, and then these arm pieces also attach to the other parts that go on the sides. So it may seem a little bit, strange having, these pieces loose and whatnot, but it will all come together and form a very solid connection. So next up, let's take a look at Hook, seeing as I mentioned him. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to move these arms down out of the way. We're going to slide the Hook over to the right, just like so. And then at the hinge here and here, we're going to detach. So it's going to spin around. You just got to be really nice and careful because you don't want to break any of these joints. There you go. As you saw there, I didn't pull at the green bit. I tried to pull as much as I could at the purple bit because that can be a tight joint sometimes. They're going to come together and hook together like so. The head is going to come out and lock into position. That's going to help secure that joint right there. Then what we're going to do is there's a few connectors that we need to move down, and basically we have one right here like so. We have one over here that comes out. We have one right here which folds down, and then we have one right over here, and there we go. So we have the arm connector ports and also these ports that are going to go into the parts that I showed you on Long Haul. So that is Hook ready to go. To create the right arm, we take Scavenger. So we're going to go ahead and just put this down like so. This guy can be a little bit fiddly with some of these connections, so just try and make sure everything's as neat as possible, but it doesn't really matter all that much, does it? So what we're going to do is we're going to unhook this section, fold this piece out like so, and then they just kind of rest there, and they will actually tab in a second. And then what we're going to do is just simply rotate this around, and here we have the joint. We're going to take the right arm, which literally tabs in with that peg into that hole. So in it goes, and there we have the right arm done. It's extremely similar with the left arm with Bonecrusher right here, so we're going to go ahead and put that down. You can do whatever you want with it really, but we'll see about that when we get him actually all formed up. So basically the exact same maneuver. Just bring it down, and then we rotate it around. Which way shall we rotate it? Let's do it that way. And then get the arm, peg that into place, and there we have the left arm done. Next up we have the right leg, and that is Scrapper. So we're going to move this out like so. Then we're going to take these arm pieces, they're going to come around, and we're going to rotate this part that way, and bring the hand down, and that's going to kind of just help create a bit of support right there. Do the same with the other side. Bring it that way, hand goes down, so that you basically create the foot like so. We're going to take these sections and bring them straight up, and then we're going to also just lift up the foot pieces right here. Now on the instructions it tells you to rotate this piece. Now that was obviously facing forwards like so when it was in the digger mode. The Decepticon logo is already in the right position. Now even on the instructions it shows that this piece is down here for Devastator, and that the Decepticon logo is facing the other way up. So it would appear that either the Decepticon logo has been put on the wrong way, so it's actually supposed to be facing backwards when he's in this mode, and then you rotate it and do that, or maybe it's supposed to be like this and the rotation is just, there's literally no point for it. I'm not sure, but obviously I'm going to keep it like that so that the Decepticon logo is in the right position, but that is basically the right leg all sorted. And then now all we have left is Mixmaster. So what we're going to do is bring the front up. These arm parts are going to come down, and they just hang out the back like that. This back section is going to come out. We're going to split it apart so that we can open these to be able to get to these sections that flip out. Close these back up and put it back into the vehicle mode position. And lock it into place. Make sure everything's nice and neat and tidy. And then that is ready to go. Almost, I forgot the heel spur. So there we go. We are now ready to go and form Devastator. So basically what we're going to go ahead and do is we have these two connectors right here, and they are going to go onto the two ports that you can see on the top like so. Now you can see inside lining up, we're going to get these hinges into those holes as well. So as you can see, with all the multiple connections, you know, none of them are really super secure enough to hold it together, but all of them together make a really, really nice solid connection. So I'm just going to make sure that everything is as it should be before we get started with this. It's probably the most fiddly part of this combiner, just putting this part on. But once it's on, it's in there nice and snug, and it looks really, really good. So they are lined up. Just got to get the right side lined up. And then inside the back, the arm of hook also clips into the back there. So basically, once that's all put together, we do have, as you can see, a large gap here, but that isn't the only piece connecting it all together. The chest plate is also going to connect to the bottom here and also to the top up here. So it is actually going to help obviously fill out that gap, but also connect the two pieces at another point. But they also connect to the arms, which also connect here and to here. So there's multiple connections that, whilst individually are not very strong, all together really do help hold this entire section together. So let's go ahead and connect Bonecrusher now. So we're going to take that hole and port and put them together. As simple as that. Getting them plugged in. Make sure it's nice and tight. There we go. Hear that click. Very nice. And then over here on the back, we take the port from the tread, which was connected into this port right here, and plug that into there. And now that's another connection connecting those pieces together, making it all very secure. And you can just bring this out a little bit because now it's going to move at that joint as opposed to, you know, the entire thing moving right there. And now it's exactly the same for Scavenger on the other side. You take the ports, you peg them together, then we're going to move it around to the back, pegging those sections together inside there. Now this thing's already feeling pretty heavy. I'm going to go ahead and really make sure that everything is fitted together now by attaching this chest plate. So we have this black piece, which is going to go into this hole here. We have clips on the sides, which are going to go over this section here. And then we have some tabs on the edge of the plate, as you can see right there, which are going to go into holes here and here, which are then going to hold these pieces in from moving around, because they will still rotate a bit because they're not connected to anything. So let's go ahead and put this in. Basically line those up, get that black section tabbed in. That's as simple as that. Then get these outer pieces put into the arms. If we can get those in, there we go, there's one. Do the same on the other side. There we go, that's that one done. Make sure everything is nice and tight, and as you can see now, that covers up that gap and connects everything together. And now for the legs, you have these points right here, which are going to go in there and there. We have this piece which is going to clip into here, and then we have a slot down here which is going to go into that point right there. So you're just going to kind of ferret it in and try your best to get it into position with everything looking at where it needs to be, and then just give it all a good squeeze together like so. There we go, that's all clipped in place and that ain't moving. It's exactly the same for the next leg. Make sure everything is in place and pegged in. Very, very simple, very easy to do, but they are very, very good connections. And as you can see, he already is standing on his own. And there he is, fully transformed. It is the Decepticon known only as Devastator, standing 18 to 19 inches tall. Absolutely phenomenal. This is a hell of a lot taller and a hell of a lot cheaper than any other Devastator third-party, figure that you can go ahead and get. So, first off, Hasbro has beaten all competition on that. Each individual robot had, pretty good looks and very good articulation. They were all Voyagers, so obviously this guy stands, very tall, which is really, really nice. But everything that they had was good transfers over to this guy, but even better. This guy has even more articulation than any of the individual robots. He feels very, very robust. Like I showed you just, all of the smaller connections come together to really make a very, very solid robot. He's very heavy, it's got a very good heft to him. And I'm not sure if this is going to happen to everyone, but it started thundering outside as I made this guy, so that was actually really, really cool. So if you do hear any strange noises, background noises, it might just be thunder. So Devastator here looks like a cross between the G1 Devastator and also modern IDW Devastator. Now, depending on literally scene to scene, in one episode I've seen him with both heads, whereby he's got the visor like he's got now, or just seeing the two individual eyes. So whether you think it's suiting the toy or suiting the show or whatever, it's just really awesome. It does more suit the toy with the fact that both of these are not the same color. We have the purple treads over here on Scavenger, and then over here on Bonecrusher we have the green treads, so that is different. That is exactly how the G1 toy was made. In the show they should both just be, I think, green, and I think that that's the way that the Takara version is. Now the SDCC version of this guy had basically everything that you see here in purple, like the chest plate and the gun and stuff. That was all chromed out. But here I do think that this is the best version. It's the cheapest version that you can get, and you don't miss out on anything. You know, those extra little bits that you get from the Takara version, like the individual guns for all the robot modes, and then, you know, slightly better articulation in elbows. For I think, what was it, Long Haul and Scrapper? That really does not matter, because you're going to have him in this mode anyway, and here he looks absolutely awesome. Speaking of the articulation for this guy, if I just bring him a little bit closer, because I can't really reach him over there, bringing it up, the head is on just a swivel here. It doesn't really look up or down. At the shoulders here, they go all the way out to the side and all the way around. We have rotation at the elbow, and it also moves 90 degrees. At the hand, we have a rotation, and also the fingers move in and out, so you can probably, you know, hold another transformer in there, which would be really cool. He has a waist swivel, which none of the other bots had, apart from Long Haul, obviously. These flaps move, allowing you to get the legs moving forward and back and out to the side, so it's basically Long Haul's hips. Here we have Long Haul's knees, which basically, I wish they did actually clip in, or if there was something that you could move down and lock them in place, because sometimes when you're moving it, they will move, and you really shouldn't, but it doesn't really matter. We have an actual knee joint down here, and then the reason that we unhooked, if I bring him around, is quite hefty. The reason that we unhooked the arms down here on Mixmaster was to release the waist piece, which actually acts as an ankle pivot, which all the individual bots had, but even Devastator has it as well. So gone are the days where your, you know, combiners all just have their feet angled out at weird stances because you can't actually get ankle pivot and they look really awkward. This guy doesn't have any of those problems. He just looks absolutely phenomenal. And because of all that articulation, because they're all really, really strong ratchet joints, this guy is going to stand in a multitude of poses. You can actually have him like completely crouched down and everything. It's just so awesome. It reminds me a lot of the Fans Project third-party Menacer, except this one actually, you know, is just so much more robust, and he's bigger and heavier and everything, and the plastic quality is better. So honestly, Hasbro have really, really done a fantastic job with this figure. I mean, it's going to be great for collectors who love G1. It's going to be great for, you know, kids who want to play with it, because really this thing is extremely strong. And considering you can get it for a little bit cheaper than what it would be to get like 6 individual Voyagers, plus you get this amazing, you know, combiner out of it, which, as you can see as a size comparison, I'll just stand him in front right there. Here we have the Combiner Wars Menacer. Yeah, that's quite a bit of a size difference. He literally comes up to his waist, and Bruticus is going to be this height as well. So this thing is absolutely awesome, and just as I brought this guy on, we had a really big rumble of thunder as well. Even, you know, if you heard it or not, I can hear it, and it's a pretty damn cool position to be. This thing, I cannot highly recommend it enough. It's just so amazing. And if you want to see this guy compared to Orbitron, the third-party Bruticus, then go ahead and subscribe, because I've done all the reviews except for Fierce Attack, which is Motormaster. Then I'll be getting onto the combiner itself. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you want to see pictures of anything from my collection, including new purchases and things that are coming up to review, and also more pictures of this guy right here, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. It's Homerino123, and I'm also Homerino123 on Twitter and Twitch if you want to go ahead and follow me on there. All the links will be in the description below. And for more Transformers Combiner Wars videos and much more, go ahead and subscribe. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.